We're still expecting Angie to just come.
We are, but we have a quorum, so we're going to get started. Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. It's 6:35 p.m., and we are going to open the meeting with a land acknowledgement like we always do. Lily, could you read it for us?
We recognize that Easton is on land historically cared for by Indigenous peoples, such as the Wampanoag and Massachusetts nations. We honor their profound and enduring relationship with this land and reflect on the injustices they faced to colonization and displacement. As a Human Rights Committee, we present this acknowledgement not just as a reminder, but as a pledge to foster respect, understanding, and justice within our community today.
All right, thank you. All right, so our first agenda item is to review our prior meeting minutes. This is from the June meeting. Does anyone have any comments, edits? And if not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Barger.
Second, Foster.
Okay, so the way we do any kind of action on the committee is that we just go around the table and you'll say your last name and what do we say, Craig? Approved or?
Yes.
Or yes,
Yes.
we just say yes
Yes.
or no. Okay, so Kat, I'll start with you.
Cobalt, yes.
Barger, yes.
Brian, yes.
Foster, yes.
Ornstein, yes.
Dean, yes.
Proudler, yes.
Okay, great. All right, so our first agenda item after that, getting more into substance, is a membership update. So the good news is that we have 4 new members of our committee. 2 of them are here tonight. So what we'll do is we'll briefly go around, just introduce yourself, your name, maybe what your ties are to Easton, and for our new members, your interest in joining the committee at this time, and for our current members, a little bit of your history of involvement with the committee. Kat, I think we'll start with you and just continue our straight line this way, and then Kelly, I would like you to jump in at the end.
Okay, I'm not sure if I remember all the prompts, but yeah, I'm Kat. Hi, I moved to Easton in February of last year, and I joined the committee in, I think, October of 2025. And yeah, I've just been helping out with different events, and I'm trying to learn more about Easton and meet more people and spread the mission of HRC. So, yeah. Thanks, Kat.
That's cool. I'm Craig Barger, Vice Chair of the Select Board and the Select Board representative on this committee. And I've been on the committee since 2017. My wife and I moved to Easton more years ago than I like to admit, but 1980. And I've been a member, I've enjoyed myself being a member of what I consider one of the best committees in the town of Easton.
Hi, I'm Sonia Bryan. I've been here since 2007, so 19 years. I'm currently an HR director, and I used to do a lot of diversity work as a Secretary of Diversity Director, and human rights is what I did and what I'd like to continue doing in the town where I live.
Great. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you.
I'm Kathy Foster. I've been on the committee since 2019. And I have lived in Easton since 1981, so for a long time. And I've enjoyed the committee and the things that we've been working on and getting to know different people, just like Kat.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thanks, Kathy. I'm Liz Bornstein. I have been on the committee in its current rebirth since its beginning in 2016, more or less continuously, about half of those years serving as chair. I've been in Easton a little over 20 years, and my kids have both gone through the Easton Public Schools. I'm a lawyer by training, and I teach law to undergraduates.
I'm Lily Dean. I'm new. My mom used to be a member, and I would always help her out, and she inspired me to join. I've lived here my whole life. I'm an incoming junior.
At OA.
At OA, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Lily.
I'm Colleen Proudler. I have lived in Easton since 2006. I am the school committee representative for the Human Rights Committee. This will be my second year doing it, so I just completed my first year. And I am a elementary school principal in another community professionally. And so diversity and equity and human rights is a very important part of what I do professionally and personally, so I'm really excited that they let me do another round on the Human Rights Committee.
We are happy to have you. Thanks, Colleen.
I just realized I'm not mic'd. But
Oh.
thanks. There you go. Oh, cool. Thank you. I'm Kelly, and I take the minutes for the Human Rights Committee. And I used to work for the Town of Easton, and I don't live in Easton. I live in Bridgewater, but I love the committee and what they stand for.
Kelly is very dedicated. Grateful for her continued involvement and for her taking the minutes. Okay. So since this is the first meeting of the fiscal year starting in July, the first agenda item is always to re-elect leadership for the committee. Our current positions are chair, vice chair, and treasurer. The way the process works is that you can self-nominate or be nominated for a position. If you are nominated, you need to actually accept it, and then we would vote on each person's nomination. We're mic'd tonight. Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Sure. Okay.
Wait, this one.
It doesn't amplify.
Oh, it doesn't
It's
amp- oh, yeah,
just
so
for
it's a-
ECAT.
oh, yeah, I
It's just for
forgot,
ECAT.
yeah. Okay, hi, Angie Harris, and I am on the committee, and I clearly did not read the location change. So yeah, but that's it. Anything I'm supposed to say?
Just share how long you've been on the committee, maybe what your professional life looks like, and why you joined the committee.
Okay.
How long you've been in your ties to Easton as well.
Okay, so I've lived in Easton now for about almost 6 years now. I work at Boston University. I work in diversity and faculty development. The reason why I joined the committee is because I want to make sure that Easton continues to stay, relatively, at least for me, inclusive, safe, friendly city, or I guess town. And yeah, that's. Yep, and I live actually right up around here, so it's relatively close, hence why it wasn't the end of the world once I realized it was a location.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Angie, this is Lily Dean and Sonia Bryan.
Hi, nice
They
to
are
meet
two new members.
Hi, nice to meet you.
All right, so what we were saying is that the first agenda item we need to take care of is a leadership confirmation for the year. So we start with the chair, we move to vice chair, and then we move to treasurer. So are there any self-nominations for chair or any nominations for other people?
I nominate you.
I will accept that nomination. Would anyone else like to consider being chair? Okay, so we'll vote on chair. Angie, we'll start with you. Oh, do I have to say something?
You'll accept the
Yes,
nomination.
I said okay, I accept the nomination.
All right,
Okay.
so Harris, yes.
Cobalt,
No,
yes.
you actually do. It's got to be a roll call. So
Okay.
it's Harris Bornstein, because she's now.
Harris
And
Bornstein, yes.
Harris and who you're voting for. Is that
Oh,
what
okay,
you're saying?
okay.
It's not your last name. It's her name.
Okay, yeah, this is what Harris Bornstein, yes.
Wait, do I say Bornstein or do I say Cobalt Bornstein?
Cobalt.
Okay, Cobalt Bornstein, yes.
Barger Bornstein.
Brian Bornstein, yes.
Foster Bornstein, yes.
Bornstein.
Dean Bornstein.
Prather Bornstein, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, so for vice chair, are there any self-nominations or nominations that people would like to put out there?
I'd like to nominate Michelle Durance. Since she's not here, it's sort of unfair, but I'm still going to nominate her for.
Okay. I did not hear from Michelle one way or the other about her interest in a position. I would like to nominate Kat to serve as vice chair.
I
Do we have to second it?
Do we need to second?
Do we need to second that?
I second it.
Okay. And are there any other suggestions or volunteers for vice chair?
Are you willing to accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Accept.
Okay. Angie,
Your last name?
Cobalt.
Cobalt, okay. Harris, Cobalt.
Cobalt.
Barger, Cobalt.
Brian Cobell.
Foster Cobalt.
Bornstein, Cobalt.
Dean Cobalt.
Prowler Cobell.
Right. Congrats, Kat. And then our third position is treasurer. Are there any self-nominations or nominations you would like to make of other people?
Kathy Foster.
I second that
Yes.
nomination. Kathy, would you like to continue and accept that nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination.
All right. Angie?
Okay, so Harris Foster.
Cobalt Foster.
Barger Foster.
Brian Foster.
Foster.
Bornstein Foster.
Dean Foster.
Prowler Foster.
All right. Well done, team. And as a reminder, I emailed out a roster that has everyone's full name and contact information. Feel free to refer to it or use it as is helpful. Okay. Another logistical component is the meeting day and time for the year. So we always meet in the evenings, and we have some flexibility about when we do it. We work around fixed, unmovable commitments. So we try and pick the same day of the week. We might need to shift it, like which Tuesday of the month it is, but it would always be the same day of the week. We stay away from Mondays because of select board, and we stay away of Thursdays because of school committee. So we really kind of choose between Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Does anyone have any standing commitments that would make them lean towards one day or the other?
The first Tuesday or first or second Tuesday of the month are usually okay. We've been doing the first Tuesday historically. So as long as you can get this room,
Yeah,
you know, 'cause we have it somewhat limited where else we can go.
correct.
Okay. But you said you already had 6 months worth of,
I preliminarily put some stuff on the calendar, so we at least had something in case it booked up between then and this meeting.
I like Tuesday. I think it's
Okay,
Yeah, it works
Yeah,
for
I
me.
won't be able to do Wednesday.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't do Wednesday either.
Some are okay, but
that makes it so easy. We're going to meet on Tuesdays. We'll keep our meeting time of 6:30. Does that work for people?
Yes.
Possible to move it up like to 6 or.
I might have cross-country meets on Tuesdays, like around 6. Like they would end around 6.
They would end around
Yeah.
6. Okay, how does everyone else feel?
6:30 works for me if that's going to be more convenient for you.
Yeah, coming from the city, sometimes it's a little bit easier with the traffic.
Okay.
Or I could just be late, but
I can just leave a little early if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My son won't take a bottle, so I won't
Yes.
be there.
Understandable.
Okay.
Do you want to try and compromise on like a 6:15 start time?
I'm fine with that.
no, it doesn't matter to me.
Let's try 6:15, and if it becomes problematic, we'll change it. So we are going to meet on Tuesdays. We will start at 6:15. I had some conversation with Peter Lally because Lally, one of those two. This is actually the only room that fits the full capacity of our committee, if we have everyone here with 13 people. So we have the following dates for the next 6 months for this room. And it is a mix of the first and the second Tuesday because of conflicts and other events. So for August, I will send this all out in writing, but you're welcome to write it all down now. For August, it's the second Tuesday, the 11th. For September, it's the first Tuesday, the 1st. For October, it's the second Tuesday, the 13th. November is the second Tuesday, the 10th. December is the first Tuesday, the 1st. And January is the first Tuesday, the 5th.
the only conflict might be on the 1st
Correct,
of
but
September.
the 8th was not an option, which is why we went with the 1st.
Because that's the primary.
Primary.
That's the primary.
Yeah. So that was our only option for September. Okay. All right. Do people have a preference post-January, whether it's the 1st or 2nd Tuesday?
I like the first Tuesday. It's been the regular schedule, yeah.
I kind of like the first one too.
All right. I'll see what we can do about booking that going forward. I think Peter said they're limited to 6 months, so we'll see what the best protocol is for that. Okay.
Now, we also know that the new fire station will be open August 6th. And they have a conference room. I'll have to find out how large a conference room it is, but we might be able to finagle that. That's the building up across from Hilliard's. Yeah, there's the ribbon cutting is August 6th.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that would be great if you could find that out. If that's
I'll
another
ask.
possibility for spaces.
We can go for ice cream afterwards.
Also sounds like a great option. Kathy, do you have a treasurer update?
Sure. Let's see. So in our account, as of right now, I believe we have $4,973.04. Just to give you a little overview of our Pride event, we brought in $4,058 plus a $100 gift card from Roach Brothers.
Wow.
That does not include the beverage proceeds. Have you heard anything?
I emailed them both, and I checked the email 2 days ago, and they hadn't responded. But I will send reminders.
Okay. So it could be a little bit more if we. Yeah. And then the expenses came to $4,036.85. So we actually brought in $20 more than we spent.
All right. The expenses, did that include the grant money?
Yes, that includes the $2,500 for the grant money. And we, the window, I think, has closed for the coming year. So I don't.
For applications?
Yeah.
For the new members, you might want to explain what the grant was.
We applied for the Mass Cultural Council and received a $2,500 grant specifically for the Pride event.
We have a history of partnering with them, and they've been very generous in sponsoring a lot of HRC events over the years, and flexible too in terms of the timing for implementing the grants. So that's been very helpful. And just also so you know, while we went through a treasurer report, this is actually not a town-funded committee at all. We have a budget that is funded purely by private and individual donations. So that is where that money comes from. Okay. Great. Good report. So for a Pride recap, Michelle sends her tremendous thank you to everyone for everyone's help and all the administrative work, putting it together, and the staffing there. I was there only for setup, but there was a lot of excitement, a lot of great weather, and a lot of energy. It sounded like there were great photos and a lot of good traffic and good experiences there. I don't know if those of you who were there at other points in the day have any observations to offer.
Well, I've never been before, and it was, first of all, the weather was perfect. Yeah. It was just like a beautiful sunshine. It was like absolutely lovely. It's like such good energy, good vibe, like lots of families with little kids. Just everybody was in a good mood. Like the food trucks were great. I got my cool little rainbow crocheted keychain. It was just a lovely, lovely, lovely day. And it made me really proud to live in Easton.
It's really nice that people will come up to us and thank us for doing it. That there's a lot of appreciation for the committees for sponsoring the event. And it seemed to go off without any hitch.
Yeah, it went extremely well. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely, the weather was incredible. I was actually a little bit worried about that one. But so that worked out quite well. And yeah, there were no problems, no concerns. I always am kind of paranoid about, they're like, okay, something's gonna happen, there'll be some sort of protester, there's something, but I really like being in a town that just doesn't happen.
And the performers were all great.
Yeah, they were.
Dave Spagone did a really good job emceeing. The clowns were adorable and walking through, and the drag queens were a huge surprise to most people because the classical music that they played on that viola was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was just made the hair on your neck stand up. That was great.
Excellent.
And the thanks to the DPW for putting up the barriers and for taking care of the trash. They were there all day long,
Yeah.
picking up trash. And we had 2 police officers there.
Yep.
Former chief and one of the other officers were there throughout 4 hours of the thing, which was excellent. It was excellent. So.
All right.
I was chatting with one of the officers, and he was calling, I think it was his daughter and her husband. He's like calling his family members saying, you guys got to come down here. This is great. So he was like making calls, telling people how fun it was and they should come and join. So it was just a lovely day.
That must have been Alan Krajcik. That must have been that must have been the deputy, yeah.
You know, I think the one thing is that it would be nice if we had better attendance, if we had more people. And so trying to continue to figure out how to bring out more people to attend.
Were there any like gate receipts, like an estimate on
Yeah,
attendees?
well, they gave out the programs. And so I think we would probably had close to 500 to 600 people all, if you count all the little kids.
Wow,
Oh,
that's pretty
That's a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
That's over a 4-hour period.
Yeah.
And they definitely spread out.
Yeah.
And was it marketed as a family affair?
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes.
All right. So that might be something to keep in mind for next year, what the goals would be. We'll talk with Michelle about doing sort of a recap, like a lessons learned, what to keep,
Yes.
what to continue. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Juneteenth recap. So this is a world record for like idea to implementation. Juneteenth was the weekend following our Pride celebration. And so because we had not given it a lot of attention in the meetings, I put together something very quick that ended up being, I think, quite successful, which was to take the proclamation that we had collaborated with all of the town institutions on back in 2023, 2021, 2023.
23, I think.
Yeah, 23 or 22. And then we just did a reading of the proclamation where we had each representative, so from the select board, from the library, from the Human Rights Committee, reading a line of the proclamation. And then our Human Rights Committee member, Molly Amatangelo, put it all together in a video with closed captioning and highlighting the text and a nice little intro. Dr. Cabral, at the end of the school year, sent this out to all of the parents in the Easton Public Schools. So there was wide distribution and just a good reminder of the effort and collaboration that had existed. So that was done.
Oh, you did a nice job.
Yeah, it sounded really nice.
You did. It was really
Yeah, and I really want to applaud all of our partners who were very enthusiastic and very responsive in a very, very short time frame. So everyone really stepped up and did a great job there. Okay. So the next two items are NRT planning and 2026-2027 planning. So for the new members, this is sort of the philosophy of the committee. We meet once a month and we're volunteers and we don't have staff to support us. So we try and focus our events more or less quarterly, so like every 3 or so months. And a lot of our focus tends to be on events which are already happening in town. Occasionally we put on our own, like Pride. And so the events that are typical in town where we tend to participate is the NRT Harvest Fair, which is always the first Sunday in October. The Lions Club Holiday Parade, which is always the first weekend in December. And then there are other incidental events that we participate in but are smaller in scale and so require less planning on our end. Kind of one example would be the Trans Day of Remembrance that Holy Trinity Lutheran Church puts on in November. And so the next major one for us is NRT. And so this is the time of year when we start planning for that. We had mentioned at an earlier meeting, and I just wanted to bring it up again, that I really appreciated the work Angie had done earlier in the year, putting together our land acknowledgements. And I think that would be a great building point for NRT because it's so close to Indigenous Peoples Weekend, is to do some kind of education or idea acknowledging Indigenous people and their role in the community. But this is the time right now where we brainstorm ideas, decide on an idea, and then put together what the plan will be to implement it for October. We'll only have 2 meetings between now and it's Sunday, October 4th, which is the date of NRT. So what other ideas do people have?
Have you ever thought of having a Native American person come and speak about their tribe or their history or?
I think that would make a lot of sense if we have this be a focus. Are you talking about for NRT or a separate event?
Since the two sort of are close together, you mentioned NRT and the Indigenous Peoples Day.
We could. In the past, it has been hard to get people out for a standalone event. But
Could it be as part of the NRT?
we could. We have a lot of flexibility about what we do at NRT, and Lily, you probably even remember a lot of the history of some of the things we've done if you helped your mom with some of those events. They tend to be interactive because of the fair component of it. We tend to be located kind of where the animals are on that strip heading out. So you get people wandering by. So I think the ability to have someone who's a speaker might require a little more thought about where we're located. Fortunately, NRT's been a terrific partner, and so they're often very flexible about accommodating the ideas that we have and working it into where it might be possible to do that.
I mean, it's a great idea. And
Yeah, and I'm just brainstorming.
Building onto that. They don't have a great MC, so it's hard to have them say, go to this place at this time. So last year we did the Easton timeline. So we did the 350.
Yeah, so in honor of the tricentennial, we did a 300-year timeline of Easton. And so we had both facts about the town and the area during that time, and then we had people put on the timeline when they or their family came to Easton. So, it's some people who had been here for 150 years, and other people said, I moved in 2017. Just a little photo sticker. Other projects we've done, our first project 10 years ago was the Unity Project, which was this enormous web of magenta yarn where people would just wrap it around a pole that matched their identity, and some in substantive ways and some in lighter ways. So they might have their political affiliation, and they might say, like, I'm a cat person, right? They might say, like, I like going to the beach, I like going to the mountains. So it was a mix of all of those. So a lot of times our installations go a little more towards public art, but the idea for the most part is public education, right? So doing something consistent with our mission and reaching as many people as possible.
So we can maybe have people make something. Like, I don't know enough about the tribe specifically, in terms of different types of tools or whatever it was that they would make, but maybe some sort of, maybe bringing in people who are part of the, because we have the Massasoit, right?
Massachusetts and Wampanoag are.
And Wampanoag, that's it, yes, I forgot. Massachusetts. So the Massachusetts and the Wampanoag, like maybe bring people in from the tribe who represent the tribe, talk to, maybe see if they can not only do some sort of like maybe a mini talk thing, but more so an activity, and maybe lead something and maybe in understanding more about the land, or make something for kids or whatever.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, making something.
I've tried to reach out to the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, and I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple of their contacts there. So, maybe summer, that's hard to reach them. So I'm hearing lots of interest in brainstorming and an Indigenous peoples focus. Are there any other broad ideas, or are we okay with that focus?
We love that focus.
I really like that focus.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone interested or available to help me over the next 2 months fine-tune exactly what we're doing, like who we might reach out to, what the activities might be?
I can help.
Okay. Okay, good. All right.
I certainly can help too, and I'm wondering whether or not the tribe that has the gaming in Taunton, is that the Wampanoag?
They, I think, are still part of Mashpee. I'm not certain. When I spoke with a person at Mashpee, he confirmed that we are on the border of kind of everything in Easton, right? Like we're like the northern, the southern, the eastern, western border of all of these different tribes. So it's a little hard to say who conclusively, would be in this area. But that's certainly something, so Kat and Sonia and I can look into who to reach out to, what would be appropriate education or activities for the format, and then we'll give an update in August. Sound
Would
good?
Plymouth Plantation be another resource to call?
Plymouth Plantation?
Just because they do a lot of educational things, field trips, right? And so they do a lot with the Wampanoag and the Pilgrims, and they might,
Yep.
if they can't help directly, maybe they could point us in a good direction.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'll add it to the list. There's also a general Massachusetts Native American Awareness Center that has things, and on a website that I had researched earlier and can't quite find now, there was some nice vocabulary there that just took terms that we hear a lot, like Pequannock and Hockomock, and gave you the Native American meaning of those. So that might be like a fun
That could be a
mix
fun,
and match
like,
type
mix and
of
match.
thing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay, so we have lots of ideas, we have lots of possibilities. If anyone comes up with anything, please email Sonia or Kat or me. And just a reminder to Sonia and Lily, because we're a town committee, we're governed by open meeting laws, which I know you're aware of because of your training. But what it means is that we can't have email communications that are considered conversations. So if you have news or an update or a question, just send it to one person, either the contact or to the chair.
But we could all sort of look into, do a little research, and then send you any ideas we might
Yep.
find.
Yes. Okay, great. All right. In terms of planning for the year, are there any broad ideas or topics people have, either of things to continue, things to add, things to take a break from, when you consider what we've done over the last year? And for Lily and Sonia's sake, I'll map out. So, we do NRT in October. We help and sponsor the Trans Day of Remembrance in November, which is a service at the church which hosts it. The Lions Club Holiday Parade, we always do something holiday related. So Kat put together like a World Religions Jeopardy board, which became
Great.
very
That was
popular.
terrific.
It's so much fun.
In the spring this past year, we had hosted a training, which we hadn't done in many years. Angie used her professional expertise to host a training, and that got very good turnout with a couple dozen people. We did the STEAM night at Blanche Ames, which was in May, and then June we put on Pride, and there were probably a few other minor things in there as well. Oh, and then one example of another thing our committee does that's not quite an event, but more of a service, is that every year we put together a religious holiday observance calendar to share with the schools to help with calendar planning. And so that always needs to be updated each year, particularly for lunar holidays where the dates are changing.
I thought it was a really balanced year, and that I liked what we did, and that we did a variety of things. I like, me, I like the training. I like to be able to offer that, and we could build on Indigenous people, or we could even do a follow-up for what Angie did last year, because we needed 6 or 8 more hours to continue to talk, and working on those kinds of things. So,
How do you feel about doing another training?
Oh, sure. That'd be fine.
Okay.
I'd be happy to.
because I think it could be more. You wouldn't have to do as much talking,
Yeah.
because we could let the groups
To actually
talk.
practice that.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. It could be a follow-up and practice the skills or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be great.
It's also good, like when we host our own events too, because people get more aware of the committee and kind of learn about us and are reminded that we exist and things like that. So I think it's good to keep something like that.
I mean, I'm not averse to refining what we did this last year and not feeling like we have to reinvent the wheel and come up with something new.
I agree.
I think the only other thing would be to check in with the other groups, like RMK, and see if they're doing anything over the course of the year that we might want to join in on.
I know
So-
they have the gala with RMK, but I can't remember the exact date.
Well, that's sort of their fundraising.
Yeah, it's
but
like a
if they're
fundraiser
doing
thing,
some
but
kind of
beyond that.
training or something like that,
Are you still involved with them, Angie?
Yes.
Okay. Could you follow up on that and see?
is there other
What
groups
their
that we
sense
should
is.
be contacting?
Well, in terms of RMK, our synagogue is coordinating a training at, I think it's the middle school around anti-Semitism. And I'll have to check with Tal Schechter, who's heading that up.
Okay. Do you know when it is?
I think it starts in the fall, but and I'm not sure what the specifics of it are, but I can certainly ask Tal what's going on. But that I told him that I thought that was a group that he ought to get involved with, and so they jumped on it. And
Okay. All right, so what I'm hearing is, at this point in the year, keeping the rough outline from last year the same is a starting point. We'll do a little bit of research. Certainly everyone as well, like perk up your ears if you hear of something in town or think of another group where you would at least want to know what they're doing to see if it either conflicts or we could collaborate. That would be good to discuss, and we can do it at the August meeting. Okay, great. Okay.
what about the why too? Should we be talking to them about maybe something that they're interested in doing that would sort of combine with us in terms of our priorities and their priorities?
We could. Is that something you would want to spearhead?
I can talk to them and see what if they'd be interested.
Okay.
There's been a lot of discussion about the why selling that property and selling the property in Brockton and combining it to one unit. I think it's a longer term process than they had hoped for. But they got to find another site that's both accessible from Easton as well as from Brockton.
Oh, okay.
But the building in Brockton has been deteriorating over the years, and so it would be very expensive for them to renovate it. Plus the one in Easton, that in order to be able to do what they're thinking about doing, they want to sell that building. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but I can reach out to them and find out what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, certainly a growth area, I think, for the training would be broadening who comes to the training. I think there was a lot of involvement from the church. It was also held at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, and their congregation was very interested in attending.
Yes.
And I think there are other populations we could try to bring in.
Yeah, that was a very good turnout.
What was the training about?
Very good turnout.
Can you describe the training for Lily and Sonia?
Yeah, so it was on having conversations across kind of like difference in essence, and kind of recognizing who you are, your identity, that people have their own experiences and such. And so basically to hopefully ensure that people are able to interact with people who are different and people who have different opinions or political views or whatever it is.
There's a lot of interest and discussion.
I'm sure. And we
It
could
was interesting
definitely.
about the diversity of the group that came too.
Yeah.
Some people that I never expected to show up.
Yeah, I
came.
was really surprised.
Yeah, I was too.
All right. Our next agenda item is partnership updates. So one of the conversations we had begun in the spring, once Angie drafted the land acknowledgements, Angie had drafted different versions. And so one is for the schools. And so the schools recently underwent a transition because Dr. Cabral retired, but Chrissy Pruitt is now the superintendent, and she was the assistant before. So that's a smooth transition. Chrissy was very enthusiastic about the idea. She was going to check in with Jackie Weissman on school committee and Ann Weintraub, who is, I think, in a newer elevated position
She's
with
the new assistant superintendent.
Oh, she's assistant now. Okay.
Good people too.
So I have not yet heard back from them about what the implementation might look like, but I know there's enthusiasm. I don't know if it's come up at school committee at all, or
So
do you know
I can't
anything?
remember, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it, but I don't want to say
Yeah.
we're deciding X, Y. But we do have a school committee meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
And if it's not on the agenda, if it doesn't come up in the superintendent's notes or the assistant superintendent's notes, I can speak to Jackie and get it put on the next one, which should be beginning of August.
That would be great.
Okay.
And we're of course open to whatever the committee and the superintendent feels is an appropriate way to share or display or get in the habit of doing land acknowledgements.
Absolutely.
Do you still have the document?
I do.
Okay, all right, great, thank you. That would be great, Colleen. So I put under here, under partnership updates, the religious holiday calendar. We've had different methods and versions of updating this each year. There are two challenges. At this point, the names of all the holidays and the content description, as well as what sort of observance looks like and what a school teacher or coach or instructor needs to be aware of, like, will they miss school? Is there a dietary component? Do they need more time for homework? That's more or less set at this point. We have cycled through all the holidays. We've changed our policy a little bit about what the holidays are that we put on there. Originally, we had just put holidays that came during the school year. But because so many extracurriculars, particularly at the high school, happen on the weekends, we had to include the weekend ones as well, so major events are not scheduled then as well. The part that needs attention every year is the dates, because for some holidays, the dates shift a lot, and the dates are also very variable depending on the particular congregation or temple or church. Like, they might actually have a slightly different date for observing a holiday. I'm hoping we can get some expertise on that. We've talked about this over the years, but we've never quite put it together. So we have what we call an ally list, which is people who are interested in the Human Rights Committee. They're not serving on it, but we support what you do. Let us know if you need volunteers. And one of the things we've talked about is trying to rely on their expertise to hopefully fill out the calendar with content-focused people, right? So Susie's in charge of all the Jain holidays every year, and Joey's in charge of all the Buddhism holidays every year, and they're just going to give us, here are what the dates are, here's what you have to put on the calendar. So that would be something I think would make implementation a little bit easier this year.
So we've already done it for this year, haven't we?
No. Well, for the upcoming academic year. And the timing of this is that school committee typically makes the calendar for the next academic year January, February, March-ish, somewhere kind of winter to spring, depending. And so it's most helpful if we have this for the school committee before they have the discussion. And so depending on transitions in our committee. Sometimes we get it there in January, sometimes we don't. But that is always the goal, is to have it done by January so that they can plan for the following year. So I would say that is another project that needs some leadership behind it. We don't necessarily have to decide it tonight, but that would help if someone can just make sure that gets done and come up with a process of doing it. So if that is of interest, you're welcome to speak up now. You can let me know later, but certainly by the August meeting, we need to know who the point person is going to be. Okay? Okay.
I feel like Michelle was always interested in that.
Yeah, and I know she's taken it on for a couple years, so yeah, that might be something she's interested in. That segues to another item which I can put under other business, which is maybe back in the logistical category, which is the email for the committee. So we, for many years, had an email address through the town, which was needed because of the nature of what we do and how we communicate with people is a little different than some other town committees. We were on very much the 1.0 version of town email, which is now technologically obsolete. So we're transitioning to a Gmail account. And what it means right now is that our official town email is just sending an auto message directing people to the new Gmail, and then Kathy and I are in the process of transitioning everything over and making the Gmail
Are they able to export the names?
Yes. So I think John
Souza.
had you on an
John
email.
Souza.
John Souza, who is the tech person,
Yeah.
is able
I
to
was trying to
extract
follow. Yeah, okay.
the contacts. So I can talk through that with you.
Yeah.
I don't have a computer at the moment that
Yeah.
can do that. but-
Okay, at some point we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, there's that update.
That's great.
I know.
Because it was so cumbersome.
It will be a quality of life improvement.
Yes.
It was like, I don't know, just remove every functionality you can think of from an email account, and that's what our town account was like. So, all right, great. So that's the end of our listed agenda items. Are there any other topics that people would like to bring up, things you remember we said we were going to talk about, things we do at this time of year?
Did you already do a report for the selectmen?
The annual report goes on a calendar year.
Oh,
Yes, so we did the annual report for 2025,
okay.
because we're in 2026.
All right.
All right. We do not have any public participation. Any questions at this point, particularly for Sonia and Lily?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Lily, one thing I just want to mention. So this is our second year having a designated student representative. One of the benefits of having the student representative is, of course, being a liaison directly into the high school. And certainly our focus is K through 12, but there's a particular niche with the high schoolers in terms of what their involvement can be and what they can do. But the position is also flexible to meet your needs and interests. So as you get to know a little bit more about what the committee does and sitting through the meetings, we'll want to make sure that this fits your needs in terms of skills you want to focus on or build, or content areas, or things that you know are already happening in the high school that might be a good complement. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The only other thing that, and maybe we can save it till we have the full committee together, was the website and having somebody take that on.
Yes, that would be helpful. So our ability to communicate, we can communicate through an email to our ally list. We are not permitted, because we're a town committee, to have our own social media handles. So anything we do on social media is either done through the town, or individually we can share whatever we want and say that the committee is doing something, just to bring people's attention to it the same way we would any other event. We do have a webpage that is organized the same way all the other web pages are. We do have a point person at town now who can do updates. That's been changing a little bit over the last 6 months. What we could use is someone who can simply take that on to say, like, here's the summary of the event we just did. Like, we have a little bit of gap for a couple years of events and content we need to put up there. And even simply to look at the webpage and say, like, given the constraints that it's the framework of the town website, we don't have that much creativity, right? Like, what might someone want to find out, and is there a different way to organize it?
Right.
As I recall, when new candidates, including Sonia, came before the select board, Rasheen was talking about her interest in or expertise in websites.
She's a software engineer.
Yeah.
So that might be a good fit for
good fit
Rasheen.
there, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we can certainly add that to August. Mm-hmm. Good. Anything else collectively we've mentioned at one point or the other?
I actually was wondering if the high school has any sort of like Indigenous multicultural program or group of students, like a club or something like
There
that.
are clubs. I'm a member of the multicultural club. My friend actually runs it too. And I know there are a couple other like group-specific clubs. Like I know there's like an Asian American club too.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if that might be interested in maybe doing something for the NRT event, maybe.
Could you check in with the advisor and with your friend and just see, I think to Angie's point, have they ever touched on anything in particular that's related to Indigenous people? Where they're like, oh yes, here's our thing we did 5 years ago. That would be a great place to start. And then maybe float that this is going to be our project for NRT, right? And if it at all matches their interests. I know we always get a good amount of volunteers from OA, either from National Honor Society or sometimes from Multicultural Club. Okay. Good. Thank you, Lily. All All right, well, absent any other business and public participation, I think we are ready to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Barger.
All right, a second.
Second Foster.
All right, Angie.
Harris, yes.
Cobalt, yes.
Barger, yes?
Brian, yes.
Barker, yes. Winston, yes.
Crowther, yes.
Great. 7:25, the meeting is adjourned. We'll see you on August 11th, and I will send out the dates and times. We'll do that one at 6:15, and we'll be here.